Okay, we're going to get started in just a moment. Is everyone here, Helen? Okay. Are you an elder? Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Gibson. It's just such a pleasure to be here with you all today. So we're going to be recording this wonderful conversation. It's going to go in the archive of Our Story Inc. It's going to be part of the process of the film that we're producing about the community here. So we're so excited to hear stories about growing up in Black Springs, your impressions, whatever. We're going to allow Helen to kind of man the show here with that. A few just audio rules. You have to be heard, you have to have the mic. So I'm going to be like handing you all the mic whenever it's your turn to talk. So we just have to make sure that you have the mic to talk. I think that's it.
If you're standing on the back row, would you mind to stand up if you're the folks in the back row?
So the folks who are in the second row, Jojo, yourself included, if you speak, just stand up, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Memories about the past, things we did out here, things that we remember, school, whatever you can think of. Once you bring it up, I'm sure the conversation will start. I do want to talk about the tunnel, but I kind of want to talk about that towards the end because I got some good stories about the tunnel. Boy, do we got some good stories.
You sure you want to share?
Oh, yeah, I want to share these stories. So anyhow, I'm going to pass the mic this way, and when it gets back to me, we'll start on the tunnel.
Okay, so what do we start on?
We're going to just talk about what we remember about growing up out here. Like, for instance, what did we do as kids out here? If I knew I was going to be first, I would sit over there.
Let me start you off. I remember playing softball here until dark.
Yes.
And do I remember, Sharon, you had yours pitcher? Awesome pitcher, right? Weren't you? No? Paulette was the pitcher? Oh, excuse me. But I remember softball. That was when everybody came out and did it. That's why I remember it.
I remember that in the backyard of everyone's house, there was the propane tanks, and there used to be a cesspool. And I remember sitting on the propane tank all the time because that was my horse. And I remember that during the winters when everything got too cold, the pipes used to freeze, and that no water would come out. And you would see all the fathers in the neighborhood, and they would dig a hole in the ground, and they would put a fire, and that's how they would thaw pipes.
Well, when I got here, we got here in '64, and I came from Fresno, California. And so we came out here, when we got out here and drove out here, there was no roads, there was no sidewalks, no trees, no nothing. And we lived through. You weren't, okay, y'all want to tell y'all stories? I'm glad to tell mine. Yeah, so it was very few trees, but there was no sidewalks. got skates for Christmas. And you didn't have anywhere to skate. We went to skates. And me and my sister, Skeeter, her name is Dana, we ran away for a whole month. We would go out and go up to the first mountain, and my daddy would come and get us in the station wagon and bring us back. Because we did not like this place. We did, it was about your house. Oh, yeah, oh, gosh. Oh, God. We stayed up there between Stevens. Yeah, we stayed up there between the Stevens, and it was one bedroom, one bathroom, a small kitchen, and we didn't have food. So we had to stay in the room. There was, what, 4 of us, 5 of us, because my baby sister was the only one that was born in Reno, Nevada. And we had to stay in this little house, and we just didn't like it. I mean, dang, you know? Well, okay, you're fine.
Before you start speaking, just announce your name.
Yes. I'm Jacqueline Jones Richards, and one of the memories I have is the propane tank being in the front yard, and we would ride on the propane tank and say hi to Captain Colo, whoever that was, when the planes would fly over. I remember that our backyard was full of cars and trucks. We weren't allowed to play in them, but we did. I remember a blue van near the back door, and that was my chalkboard, and I played school there a lot. And I remember my little friend Brady walking over. I would say more than once a day, speaking to my mom. Hello, Sturge. And then he'd say whatever he was going to say. Now, he hardly even remembers that. But good memories. Good memories.
My name is Gino Osborne, and my folks came from Mississippi and Louisiana by way of Hurlong, California. They were working out in Hurlong at the Army Depot, my grandpa, before he bought the lot from Mr. Sweat here in Black Springs. And I was actually born in Hurlong, and then a few months later we moved out to this area. My parents bought a lot from Mr. Sweat across the street from my grandpa. And the thing that I remember, distinctly remember, is that when all of my cousins were in town, they would drop my grandpa off at the bottom, at the end of what is now 375, or what is now Westbrook Lane. They would drop him, they're coming from Hurlong, and they would drop him off on the freeway there, and at the end of the Westbrook Lane, and my grandpa would walk up, and it'd be all of us cousins and everything. We'd be running down the dirt road to see Grandpa. We were so happy to see Grandpa. He was coming home from work. So he had all of his brew coming down there to jump all over him. And that was the distinctive thing that I remember back in the day as a kid. In addition to a lot of other things like the family get-togethers and the food and my aunts trying to out-cook each other and stuff. And it was great. The family gathering. So, and then of course, as a kid, you know, we would go behind the house, behind Westbrook Lane, was the gully here before all these ugly warehouses showed up. And, you know, we would chase jackrabbits, and, you know, we had to have the best athletes in the Reno area because our entertainment was trying to catch these dadgum jackrabbits. Thurman Carthen Sr. used to tell us that, yeah, you can catch them. So we would do our best to try to catch these jackrabbits, jumping over sagebrush, and I guarantee you, we had the best athletes in Reno because of that. I mean, we had an NFL player out of here. My uncle Marcus was a All-American football and basketball player. So our entertainment, and we didn't know any better. So because we never went downtown until Andy and those guys came and started showing us that there was something other than Black Springs. But prior to that, we entertained ourselves by chasing horny toads, jackrabbits, whatever else behind the hills, and that's how we entertained ourselves.
My name is Joycelyn Jones Richardson, and my dad was A.C. Jones. And I remember the dirt roads, the ditches to catch the water, no sidewalks, but mostly what I remember is the community fellowship that when one family needed, before they could really say they needed, everybody else had joined in to help out. I remember our dad's hunting, and they supplied meat for all the families. And even though we didn't visit a lot, we visited a lot, but we didn't really visit a lot. And I was only allowed to stay at my godmother Washington's house, which was okay. And it was just, and playing with Ella Mae and Mikey by the cesspool, making mud pies. And those mud pies were so good. It was just like, wow, this was the best dirt. When we got to California, the dirt did not taste like that. So I'm just glad to be a part of it. Thank you.
My name is Laura Marshall Atchison. Cecil Washington was my stepfather, and we were from Oakland. And upon coming here, when we turned into Black Spring, I saw there was a problem. I said, Mama, what happened? They ran out of asphalt. I said, where's the street? He went, dun, 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 dun. I said, oh my God. You know, and then we just was gone and gone. Okay, then we got to the house. I said, Mama, where is the restroom? My father said, you have to go to the outhouse. I said, what is an outhouse? And Mother said, it's the outer house. So it was really nice. It was a little house. The light was on the outside. You go in. There was a magazine rack and had the toilet paper. Only thing you didn't do, and they had most of naturally, you didn't flush it. And I said, oh. So I said, okay, this is cool. I thought everyone had a little house like ours. I went up to the Burnings home and I had to go to the restroom. They said, there it is. I said, that's a shack. They said, yes. I said, oh, somebody's in there. When the person sit, you saw their feet dangling. When they stood up, you saw their head. I said, oh no, I can't go there. So like you said, track. Oh yes, I learned how to run down the hill on Eugene Street to go home to go to the restroom. But one memory I like, I mean, you know, the guys, you know, they were really bad. This one, and I don't know if they remember Old Man Red. There was a party that we had, and what happened, like they said, the cesspool, unfortunately, he fell in one, and we cracked up. We laughed so hard, we stopped dancing, we were like that. He said, help us. I said, no, we can't help you. You got it, and you get out the best way you can. But another thing about family, oh, you said training. Oh yes, I learned how to high jump, jumping over sagebrush, because I was looking for the tree. That was the state tree, sagebrush. I said, oh, okay, so we would run, and Paulette, she made me mad because the fact that when we got to high school, I was so mad that my sister beat me in high jumping that I had to do the softball. I was so mad. I did that softball so far. Number one, I had a record for a year. The following year, Paulette took it. But Marcus, we had GA, you remember? And we're supposed to be playing flag football without Black Spring. We didn't know nothing about no flag football. We tackled, okay? And I felt sorry for those kids when we had to play. And then when we was playing it was muddy. So we were sliding up and down, you know, the mud and stuff like that. But it was so much fun. But the most memorable thing I like is like, we all love to sing. And we would go up and down the street, singing our heart out. And we had a group. Carrie, Mighty, Mighty. And yes, and you know, so she took a hold of us and got that group together, and that's what we did. And they had 2 street lights. We didn't like down there street like we had the moon, stars, and everything. So what we did, we got a rock and we, dismantled it, But yes, it was so much fun. There's so many fun memories, but I'll pass that on.
My name is Paulette Carthen Porter. My mom and dad were Thurman and May L. Carthen. We had the largest family out here, and it was kind of our responsibility to get things going as far as the games and everything. They'd run over to the house, y'all ready to play ball? Yeah, we ready. Now our responsibility, we had chores, but it was time to play ball. So we would run across the street to the empty field. What are those little stickers called? Yeah, nobody wore shoes, so we was running barefooted, and stickers, stumping your toes with the rocks. Oh, but we had a game that could have been on TV. You hear me? Sliding and catching from all kind of angles and diving, get the stickers off me. We had wonderful times together. It was family. Everybody's parents took care of you. If you did something wrong, they got you behind. And then they told, I'm gonna go tell your mom too. You got home and you got it again. You know what I'm saying? But it was family. We did everything together. The girls would run down. Can you come up? No, I'm cleaning up my room. I'll help you. Everybody would pitch in and start cleaning up the room, and then we'd go to another girl's house. What you doing? I got chores to do. We'll help you. Then by the time we was ready to go, all of us to go do something. We couldn't go out. If we went to a party, we had to take more than 3 people with us. Is this person going, that person going? Well, yeah, I guess you can go there. But then our parents started fixing things for us to do out here. They built us a deck, just the bottom deck, and we would have parties out here. Yeah, and all the town people wanted to come to our parties. No, y'all can't come here. The boys, because we had good-looking girls out here. And the boys from town wanted to come out, and play. Our boys would be up at the top of the hill. One way in, one way out. You can't come in here. It was a lot of love.
Hi, my name is Carolyn Marshall Buckin. I'm Cecil Washington's daughter, the favorite daughter. back in the day, I was so much like my mother. My mother worked, she was a nurse and she worked for Washoe Hospital. And the fun that I had was that I never did like to wear shoes, And even though we had only dirt roads, it didn't stop us from running. And then when we ran track, we ran without shoes because we had a better grip in running. We didn't have a lot, but what we had, it was fun. I know my dad built a little basketball court so we can play basketball. And I taught my husband, but he was my boyfriend at that time, how to play basketball, and he wound up becoming an all-star. And that was very impressive because people thought we didn't have fun out here, We did. We did a lot of things that we didn't know what our parents was doing behind the Iron Curtain, as you might say. They used to call us the Rich Washingtons. My dad ran the jackhammer, We were the first family that had aluminum siding put on the house. And we still have the same aluminum siding on the house. So it showed that it held up. And so we helped my dad build the house. He had 2 houses, and we took one house and built the other house. And I remember one night we were there, and he had to get the house put down on foundation. So he had it all jacked around, and you could feel it, the house going down on the foundation. And so during the summertime, because it was so hot up here, I didn't like to be outside during the summertime because it was too hot for me. I didn't want my color to change. So under the house was high enough to where we would go under the house and have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and things like that. So we stayed warm like that. And coming up too, I always like to take the bath in the foot tub because we didn't have a bathroom at that time. And so Mother had to boil water on the wood stove because she cooked off the wood stove. So it was a lot of fun. I mean, she canned and she baked, and Daddy would take us jackrabbit hunting in the big salty truck up in the mountains, and he would shoot jackrabbits, and we had to clean them. The horriblest thing. But when Mother cooked it, it tasted like fried chicken. And we used to go spirit frogging. Dad would get the frogs, they would cut it up, and we would camp out and have a good time. So we made our own recreation. We were a little family, but we were a little happy family. We didn't get along all the time, you know, but we were here. And for this place not to have been recognized, you couldn't have had a better place to live, the Black Springs. Hopefully we can get the name back because it belongs to us. And it is Black Springs, and it is still considered the country. It is not Reno, it is Black Springs. So these are some of the things that I enjoy coming up in this here small community called Black Springs.
My name is Thurman Carthen Jr. She already said all the stuff about our parents. And yeah, we had a bunch of kids. And yeah, we had fun out here. Some of the things I remember is I used to like it out here at night because we didn't have any street lights. And it was very dark, and you could just walk away and not be noticed by anybody. But, you know, sometimes at night, all the kids, before it got real dark, all the kids come over to our house. And we play a little game called hide and seek. And, you know, or sometimes, you know, we just get out, everybody out in the backyard. Andra Berry! And, you know, we play a Red Rover. Send somebody right over and bust through your arms and break your arms. Because we had some big kids playing with us, you know, we was little kids, and we had to, like, if I was 6 or 7, and, you know, we had some guys that were 12 or 13, you know, and they like to be brutalize us anyway. And yeah, my sister is one of them. She used to like to beat me up, but that's all right. That's all right. You know, but I was the youngest kid, and you know, things I remember is like. Out of those 3, well, there wasn't a whole bunch of us, you know. Yes, it was. But I mean, out of those 3, I mean, Polly, Beverly, and out of those, yeah. But I was, you know, they said I was the most mischievous. They would always watch after me. And, well, I was going to get into everything back then. But, you know, I remember of course, the ever-present septic tanks that we all had, and sometimes playing football and having to really leap to miss landing in the middle of that board in that cesspool. next to a hog pen, which caused my brother a lot of anxiety, because at night, when you have to go to the bathroom, no street lights, no backlight, and you had to feel your way around to find that outhouse. And right next to the outhouse was that hog pen. You could look through the slats in the hog pen and see the hog. He would get, when you go to the bathroom, he'd get right up next to you. And it's like, so consequently, my brother never went to the bathroom at night. He usually went to bed to the bathroom. And, yeah, I had nightmares about that too, but you know, that was just one of the things we had to put up with. But we got along out here. I mean, really well. We never, I mean, my dad put up a basketball court over at our place too, down on Main Street. But there was all these rocks in the ground. I mean, you dribble the ball like this. So I can get very good at basketball. I used to be good at track because that's all we could do out here, just run, or ride our bicycles. I mean, because there was so much freedom. The freeway wasn't here then, and all this housing and stuff wasn't here, and we could just go any direction we wanted to, and then just empty space, and you could just check out nature and everything that was there. I mean, it was just, you know, it was a lot of fun growing up, but I never knew that there was actual basketball teams and things like that till I got to junior high school, and you know, finally found out about all that stuff. But out here, you know, we didn't have all those things like you were saying. We made our own fun. You know, we trusted each other to do things, you know, and play around and stuff.
My name is Tony Townsell. Butch is what everybody knew me by, and still they know me by. So. But this is going to sound kind of funny, but my fondest memory was graduating early from Hug High School at 17, and all I could ever think about since I was about 12 was, I'm going to move away from here. And that doesn't mean that it wasn't enjoyable and we didn't enjoy each other. I just wanted something different. And so, but the dirt roads, I loved it when we had them, because my dad bought us a car, 64 Rambler, and he said, this is how you learn how to drive. He showed us how to work the 3-speed on the column, and he said, just don't go to the pavement. You can go all over the dirt roads out here, but never hit the pavement. So my brother and I, that's how we learned how to drive. And basketball, we used to, like everybody else, we had my dad put a post up, put a basket up, a backboard. The backboard was kind of wobbly, but everything was done on dirt. You know, that's all we had was dirt. But what I'm mostly fond of is what the parents out here did and what they bought in 56, 57, whatever year they came. Ours was in 56. They bought the places. Yeah, there were outhouses, yes, cesspools, propane, but each one of them built onto those homes, and they became our house, our home. And our parents did the best they could for us. And of course, we went to parochial school, so we didn't know a lot of people, or weren't allowed to play with the other kids because they went to public school. But, and it's not that we thought we were better than they did, but our mother probably thought we were. But we went to, until I was in high school, we went to Catholic school, St. Thomas Aquinas downtown, and it was enjoyable out here. I remember the softball games. That's one of my fondest memories on Sundays, playing softball, and usually no fights, everybody play hard. There was two guys that used used to get in, and they were brothers, but they were the Huddlestons. And it seemed like every time we played baseball, James and Carl would get into it. And James was the youngest, but he always won. But we had a lot of fun out here. JoJo became a good star football player and everything, but the one preseason he missed is because we were playing, and I remember like somebody said earlier, we didn't play flag football, we tackled. And we tackled JoJo right before the season started, and he got hurt, and the coach was pretty ticked off at us, but that's the rules, you just play, but all the families did come together, get to know each other, and it was nice to see the improvements that happened out here. And a lot of that had to do, I remember Andy when he first came with the Vista program, I believe it was, and how he educated and helped educate my grandparents and my